Is your structural model in equilibrium? This is something most of the times we never check. And here is the thing, if these numbers don't match the load we apply, the simulation is wrong, no exceptions. In previous video, we talked about joints, how they affect the global behavior of the structure if they are rigid or pinned. Today we go one step further. We are going to talk about reaction forces and beam forces, what they are, how to read them in Solidworks simulation, how to verify them, and what they tell you that your stress plots never will. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you something that surprises a lot of engineers, even when you change the joint conditions completely. Let's get into it. Hi, Carlos here, and for those of you who don't know me yet, I've been more than 12 years validating real engineering FEA projects across different industries. So I created my validation method to train FEA the way industry actually demands. You will find all the details in the description below. Now let's continue reviewing concepts of that methodology. This is the video number 5 of the Beam Elements series. So if you didn't see the previous ones before, I will leave you the links below so you can take a look to understand the complete picture. Today we are going to talk about the first check that we should do when running any FE simulation, and most of the times we forget about it. Before we go into the software, let me remind you something you probably learned years ago. Let's review the Newton's first law. This law refers to the equilibrium of forces acting on a body. So here we have the equations of equilibrium. Basically, every force we apply to a structure has to be resisted somewhere. The sum of all the external loads must be equal to the sum of all the reactions. In our water tank model, I applied 3 types of load. We had the wind loads. Considering the global coordinate system that I currently have in the project, I applied in Z direction 4,500 newtons, and in X direction I applied it minus 1,250 newtons. In addition, I consider the tank weight as a point mass. I consider 800 kilos, and if we multiply them by the gravity acceleration, we have the force in Y direction of minus 7,848 newtons. And as the last one, we also apply the gravity load acting on the self-weight of the entire structure. Okay, these ones are the loads I apply, and on the other hand we have the boundaries that will support them. I apply them in the 4 base plates connecting to the ground, and these points must resist all of them. So before I even look at the FEA results output, we need to check that the sum of my reactions at the boundary conditions must be equal to the loads I applied. If Solidworks gives me something different, something in my model definition is wrong. That's the first validation check that we all should do. So let's move to see these values in the software. Okay, here we are. First of all, let me show you how to extract the reaction forces in Solidworks simulation. In the results section, we have these 2 options. We have the option of list beam forces, and this will give us the internal forces at each end of every beam member in the model. But what I want to check first are the reactions at the base plates, the forces being transmitted to the bottom anchorage point. And this is the option for the reaction forces. So I will select it. Okay, here we can read in any entity of the model, we can select faces, edges or vertices, and we can use the joints from our beams. So I will select the 4 bottom joints that we have. I will also activate the display resultant forces, so it's very useful, and click on update. Okay, here we have them. Let me reorganize them. Okay, here the software is showing us the 3 reaction forces at each of the joints and the resultant force combining these 3 ones, and the same with the reaction moments. Now what we can do is just to sum them up. For example, if we sum the X direction values, we have 391 newtons, 271 newtons, 293 and 295. We sum all of them, we obtain 1250, right? Okay. We can do the same with the force in Z direction, that is the other lateral one that we are applying to the water tank. Here we have minus 1140 newtons, minus 1160, minus 1070, and minus 1120. And all of them are giving us the value of 4,490, so approximately 4,500 newtons. That is the value that we apply in that direction. And if we check the forces in the y direction, they are going to be matching the gravity and the weight. Good. As you can see, the numbers are close. This is what I call closing the loop. Your model is in equilibrium, the reactions match the applied loads. Let's continue. We could say now that we can trust what the model is telling us about the global behavior, right? But there is more. Look at the individual values. These 4 joints are not reacting equally because the wind load creates asymmetry. This joint, for example, is giving us a value of 9,900 newtons in the y direction, and the opposite one, this one, is giving us in y direction minus 5,510 newtons. That difference is critical for the bolted connection design. These bolts are going to be in tension and these ones will be in compression. A stress plot will never tell us this directly, right? But reaction forces will do. And this is exactly what we need to use to dimension our bolted connections. Of course, we'll talk about bolted connections in future videos. Good, but this is not all. Now I want to go a little bit further here. If you remember, in previous video, we were comparing the behavior of using 2 different configurations in the joints of the structure. We were reviewing the efforts in this structure, comparing the use of rigid joints versus pin joints. How do you think it will affect to the reaction forces in the bottom connections? Let's review the shear efforts again. I will close here. I will put them together to review the values much faster. So I will go to results and I will compare. Okay, here we have them. On the top, we have the pin joints configuration, and on the bottom, we have the rigid joints configuration. What we saw is that when we were using rigid joints, depending on the load that we have, this joint was showing higher values in shear than this one, for example. And the same happened in the bottom connections. But if we look at the pin joints configuration, we had this distribution. So the maximum value is lower from 1,570 to 1,170, but the values in the 4 connections are equilibrated, right? Okay, so let's see what happens with the reaction forces. I will show up the reactions of the top model. I will select the 4, click the display and update. Let me organize them. I will take a screenshot. Okay, and now I will show you the values in the bottom. Here, and here. I will display the resultant and update. Let me organize them in the same way. Okay, and now I will put the screenshot here. Okay, what do we have here? If we start comparing the y global direction, which will be the axial direction of the beams, we can see how similar the values are. Here we can see in y minus 2,160 newtons, and in the bottom minus 2,160 newtons. Here minus 5,510, here minus 5,500. So the values in y direction are perfectly matching. Good, so this direction is confirmed. But as we saw in the shear efforts, if we compare the values in the global x and global z directions, which are the shear directions, we can see how they are not matching, right? For example, here in x we have 438 newtons and here 271. Here we have 222 and here 391. And the same with the rest. Here we have 293 and here 636 and 295 versus minus 46.4. Therefore, we have 2 connections with higher values and 2 connections with lower values in this direction. And if we check the direction in Z, the forces in the Z direction, we can see some difference, right? But at the end, if we compare the final resultant forces values, we can see that the final reaction is quite similar, right? So here, for example, we have 2,470 versus 2,570, 100 newtons. Here, 5,640 versus 5,620, 6,650 versus 6,660, and 9,970 versus 9,950. Great. So what is the conclusion of all of this? The loads are the same, so the reaction forces and moments values are showing the final resultant values very similar, which means that the system is in equilibrium in both cases. Therefore, we can confirm the good global behavior. of both configurations, so we can trust the results. However, the internal loads should be different since the degrees of freedom are different in some of the joints, and this will be crucial to calculate our bolted connection. Depending on the structure configuration we have, the internal forces will travel differently and the bolted connections will need to guarantee always the good performance. If you like the content of this video, I will really appreciate you a like, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the next videos coming. And if you want to learn how to actually apply all of this in real engineering projects using my validation method, you can find all the details in the description below. Let's continue. Now I want to show you another output that will help you understand the internal behavior of your structure. If we have been reviewing the reaction forces in the joints, now let's check the beam forces. Okay, what's the difference between reaction forces and beam forces? Reaction forces are what the boundaries receive, so they will tell us if the system is in equilibrium, and the beam forces are what each member is carrying internally. So we will understand the internal distribution of the forces in every region of our structure. They are related, but they will tell us different things. Let me show you. We are going to start by the configuration of the pin joints. I'm going to Results, right click, and now yes, we select the list beam forces. Here we have the menu, and here we can select the beams that we want to study. So as we were focused in the bottom connections, now I'm going to ask only for these 4 lower columns connecting the structure to the base. So I will ask here from the beam 58 to the beam 61. I click OK, and here we have the results of this beam, this one, and this one. We can filter by showing only the extreme values of each beam, or we can show only the beam endpoint. Okay, I will select the option show only beam endpoints, and I will export them so we will see it much more clear in the Excel file. I save it, and now I'm moving to the rigid joint configuration. Go to Results, right click, and select list beam forces. Again, I will ask for the beam 58 to the 61. Click OK, and now I will select show only beam endpoints, and I will export them and save. Okay, good. Now let's move to the Excel file. Here we are. I merged all the values together here from both result files just to be easier to compare. We have the pin joints configuration on the left of the screen and the rigid joints configuration on the right. Okay, what we can see, starting by the axial forces, these 4 and these 4, we can see that they are matching 6,553 versus 6,000. I will zoom in so you can see it better. Okay, so this value is matching with this one, not exactly, but practically they are equal. And at the end we have 2 positive values and 2 negative values, 2 beams in compression and 2 beams in tension. Good. Now if we do the sum of these 4, we obtain 8,794.8, and if I do the same with the rigid joints configuration, I obtain exactly the same value. As the reaction forces already told us, the axial direction is perfectly matching. Good. Okay, now if we check the shear values, as we saw already in the reaction forces, they are not matching, right? So here we have 292 versus 635, 391 versus 222. So for shear 1 and shear 2, we have different values in each of the beams. But if we do the sum of the forces, let me drag this equation here. So the sum of these 4 values is giving us 1,250 newtons, exactly the force that I apply in that direction. And if we do the same to the shear direction number 2, what we obtain 4,500 newtons, exactly the force that I apply in that direction. And we can do the same with the rigid joint configuration. Let me drag, and exactly here we have 1,250 and 4,599.9 newtons, so practically 4,500 newtons. Therefore, even though we obtain different values of each beam individually, we can see how the final values match. We can also drag the formula to the moments just to see that they are matching exactly. So not exactly, but as you can see, minus 427.8 versus minus 432, so practically the same values. Great. So this conclusion is saying that our system is in equilibrium. We saw internal differences due to the forces are distributed differently depending of each configuration, but the boundaries still receive the same total forces. This is physics, and verifying it in your model every time is part of our professional validation workflow that I always teach in my training programs. Okay, what we just reviewed here is how to go beyond of the stress plot. This is about obtaining the confidence that our model is correct. And in addition, we extracted the data we need to design our bolted connection. And if you want to make the difference and learn how to actually apply all of this in real engineering projects using my validation method, you can find all the details in the description below. Subscribe if you haven't yet. See you in next simulation.